Today, I want to talk to you about intensity. Specifically, what happens when an artist's intensity becomes their identity. Because sometimes the very thing that raises your floor lowers your ceiling. I'm using Conway the Machine as the case study. So let's quantify this. Grit, intensity, let's put them on a scale of 1 to 10, right? Right now, Conway operates at an 8, a strong 8. Now, pre-accident, he might have been between 7, maybe 7.2. That difference sounds small, but it isn't. Mainstream range lives between 6.5, 7.5 range. Above 8, you gain reverence, but you lose the casual replay, the casual fan. Now, after the accident, his delivery changed. Not worse, just different. You know what I mean? It requires attention. You have to lean in, process the bars, get the full verse, the full idea of what he's saying in that verse. But the issue here is that the mainstream doesn't lean in. They need it right up front, boom, boom, boom. Spoon-fed, if you will. So if your voice requires adjustment, you lose the passive listener. That's not a quality issue. That's an accessibility bandwidth issue. It requires more processing power to understand what you're saying, what you're delivering. So the bigger piece, trauma becomes your identity. Not just subject matter, but identity. And once pain becomes the engine that rebuilt you, you don't move from it easily because that identity saved you, built your respect, your street cred, created your leverage with the labels, with the listener. So moving away from that can really feel like betrayal. You have to understand that. So instead of range, you get fortification, doubling down. So here's the math. Post-trauma Conway. More grit, higher intensity, authenticity floor, but he has a lower crossover ceiling. Now, pre-trauma Conway, slightly lower intensity, but a higher range capability, probability, trajectory, if you will. Now, this no disrespect to Conway. That's trade-off economics we're doing. Now, imagine this version. Pre-accident vocals with maybe a Just Blaze production. Maybe he ventures off with Timbaland or Pharrell on a different kind of bounce tip. Strong hook, maybe a call and response record. He could have lived in that 7 range that we talked about. Breathable grit. Intensity is palatable there. Crossover capable. Sometimes the thing that makes you respected is the same thing that caps your scale. Now, intensity commands, but range invites. So the real question isn't, did trauma help him? The question is, did intensity cap him?